Francis, thanks for your time today. Firstly, tell us why Francis Wong for Lord Mayor of Adelaide.
Well, Peter, I came from Brunei 21 years ago, and Adelaide and South Australia were very good to me. I stood for council, I get elected. I thought I could make some kind of difference as a councillor, and I found that as a councillor, especially with the last elections, there is a lot of representatives from the parliament. I found that they have achieved what they have achieved. What I want to do is to create a balance this time to make sure that business community do have a equal representation on the council. And I believe with my network and the connections in the mainstream community, especially the business area, I could encourage more people to support these elections and also to get involved in the development of the future of the city.
And you mentioned the business community. Is that what you consider your main supporting constituency?
Yes, I think so, because when you look at the ratepayers, 80% of the rates are paid by the non-residential, which means it's a business community. And this community, I want to excite them to get involved, because if they are not doing well, then Peter, we have a serious problem in the city here, because we become the big retirement village. And when the state government is doing a lot of urban sprawl with Bowdens and Marians and Gawler, we'll be going backward, because I have a lot of problems with a lot of traders here, empty shop in the city. They are crying for more people coming into the city to make sure that the business can survive. So I want to make sure that this time they get involved and work with Adelaide City Council and the state government to develop a better capital city.
Now, one of the things that's happened over the last 2 years, or the Harbison years, I think, is the council has become increasingly irrelevant with the state government having this ability to override development applications and the like. What are you going to do, or what do you see as the main steps to restore the Adelaide City Council's relevance to the state?
I think there's a couple of things I need to do. One, first of all, we have to regain confidence of the community, regain confidence with the key stakeholders. Key stakeholders means state government, opposition, business community, and key stake groups like Property Council, Business SA, to make sure that they give us another chance to rewrite this chapter of Adelaide City Council. I guess this group been very negative to City Council. The Adelaide City Council has done a lot of good work over the years. So I think it's unfair just to criticize the council. What I want to do is regain the confidence, and I'm an open sort of approach person and has got a can-do attitude. I will actually work very closely with this key stakeholder to open this communication. And once we can communicate, once we can discuss, we can negotiate, I believe that we can regain the viability of this city here.
Now, you mentioned traders having problems with shops that are empty. In particular, I want to ask you about Rundle Mall and Rundle Street.
Yeah.
Traders report that whilst the suburbs are doing reasonably well, their stores are lagging, and I think in some measures East End Rundle Street is as bad a condition as it's been for a while. What are your thoughts about how those areas can be rejuvenated?
I definitely want to support the redevelopments of Rundle Mall, and I hope to get it as quickly as possible. We have a good authority managing the Rundle Mall, and it's good to have Thea Maras looking after Rundle Mall and Rundle Street. So I like to see that part of that development has been taken out very quickly. Parking is a big issue in the city here, and one of my platforms is to ensure that we have good parking solutions to the city, because we are not another big city. We are a small city, small state. If you increase the parking or give too much restriction, they can go down to another suburb. So we need to make sure that we balance the parking and the vitality of the business in the city, and also push vibrancy to get people to come to the city. That's very important. We got to work concurrently. So I will support, more business activity in the city, especially the hub, Rundle Mall, Rundle Street, Central Market, as well as Hindley Street as well.
Now, Victoria Park Racecourse, the walls have come down, and what's been revealed now is a grandstand in pretty derelict condition. What do you see as the way forward for Victoria Park Racecourse, which has been such a sore spot?
I know, it's a shame, isn't it? I mean, it's almost like the forgotten chapter for the time being, but I'm quite keen to see that we'll get some kind of funding from states and federal to complete some of the plans that we have got for Victoria Park. It should be a people's park, so definitely on my agenda to ensure that we complete that as quickly as possible. The grandstand looks fantastic once completed. We also need to look at the roundabout, Britannia roundabout as well. There's a lot of complaint about that traffic jams corner, so we can make that Victoria Park a real people's park.
Now, the Victoria Park grandstand is perhaps emblematic of some of the other buildings in the parklands that have been run down and are now in pretty ordinary condition, despite the fact that councils had policies to say what they would make sure those buildings were sustained. And other examples are the Prince Alfred Boat Club, the University Oval Grandstand and boat sheds. What's your view about the council's role in ensuring those buildings are in good condition, as not necessarily listed on a heritage list, but for the heritage of the state?
The relationship that we have with all these, the organisation we've set up over the years, I personally think that if we went to partnership with them before, we should rekindle that relationship to make sure that because they are in our parkland, we got to make sure that they are in good form and good shape. Whether we're going to support them financially or not, we will have to make sure that they reach certain standard. We don't have enough facility to support that. People talk about toilets. Make sure that they're done properly. Nobody knows that's owned by the college or by the council. It is a reflection of Adelaide City Council managing the parkland, but not good in managing the property. So what we need to do is to make sure that we will have a concerted sort of approach to make sure that we have a proper sort of buildings around the parkland and make sure they're kept properly. Those with heritage, we need to protect. Those without heritage listing, we need to do something about it.
And alongside those buildings, of course, the Adelaide Oval Redevelopment. What are your views about the development as you currently understand it, and what would you be asking your councillors to support?
Well, in principle, even this council, all the councillors support the developments of the Adelaide Oval, and I think this is developments that we're all very excited. Because we haven't seen big development in Adelaide for a long time. I think this development will excite the whole city, give new energy to the city. Property price might go up as well, but definitely is one of the best developments. I'm sensitive about some of the parking issue that we have got here. I just hope that the government has got the pocket deep enough to complete the project. I'm quite keen to see the whole riverbank developments, which is happening with the convention centre, with the festival centre coming out, and also the casino. But let's don't make a mistake. Let's do it properly to make sure that this riverbank precinct do not have to be rebuilt again in 100 years' time. Let's do it properly.
And where do you sit on the issue of car parking and either having cars parking on the northern parklands every week or so, and also the issue of ceding control of that area to the Stadium Management Authority? I'm
actually monitoring this parking very seriously, and I know that SMA is looking at underground parking. There's integrated movements to make sure that the people move in and out quickly. There's a bridge. I'm keen to see that the North Adelaide resident will not be disadvantaged by this project. I personally do not support parking in the parkland, so that's definitely my stand.
Francis Wong, many thanks.
Thank you very much, Peter.